Hello, and welcome to the Inspired Living with Ellen Broderick podcast. And I'm your host, Ellen Broderick. This week, before we engage in the meditation, which is going to be the second meditation in this series of meditations that accompanies the book Welcoming Joy and the year-long Inspired Living journey. So first, I wanted to introduce to you the idea of being kind to and deeply loving with yourself during meditation. So locating your most compassionate and tender-hearted self to embrace during meditation will definitely increase the benefit and the need to let go of being perfect at it. Your mind will drift. You will experience distractions, and they will bring you away from being present and in the present moment. But in meditation, you're simply charged with noticing these things and then refocusing on the focal point that you have chosen, or that the person who put the meditation together has chosen. So tonight it's going to be on counting backward from 20 in synchrony with our breath. So if your mind wanders, you simply bring it back to that activity. And you're going to try not to judge yourself or compare yourself to others, both tonight and any time that you're doing meditation. I know that I have had a critical inner voice, and many people have heavily critical inner voices. And these voices want to be validated. And our challenge is to find that loving, compassionate voice, the one that you might use if you were talking to a child that you really cared deeply about, who's learning something new. And many of us are not acquainted with bringing this kind of compassionate voice to ourselves, and it may feel disingenuous at first. But don't let that stop you. Keep at it, because over time, you may find that it becomes more and more like a dear friend. So experiment with this. Experiment with the time that you meditate. You might prefer meditating when you first get up in the morning, or just before a meal, maybe before bedtime, or perhaps after you exercise. Whatever is the case, try out different times of the day. And after you've done that for a little while, dabbled with different times, then see if you can settle on a time that will most consistently work for you. Because when the time is consistent, at least most of the time, you'll begin to approach meditation the same way you would other daily routines that you have in place. So life happens, so recognize that there will be times, most likely, when you'll need to change the time to accommodate other aspects of your life. But if you can, most of the time, meditate at the same time. And if you can carve out a consistent place to meditate, it can be enormously helpful to have a very specific spot, and then returning there day after day. And you may want to experiment with position. So I very often will lead you in a particular position. So to this meditation that I will be doing today, I am leading you through a sitting posture. But in many meditations, you have a choice. You can sit, you can lie down, you can be walking, you can be standing. So you might want to experiment with what allows you to be most present. There is the meditation of Yoga Nidra, which I happen to love, which is often led lying down. But if people can't lie down and comfortably stay in a lying down position, that doesn't mean you can't do that meditation. And give yourself permission to change things as needed. So the next thing is, if you can release any preconceived ideas of how things should go, If you can stay flexible and open, allowing yourself to experience things as they unfold, it can be enormously helpful and also pleasurable. So simply be present, notice the physical, mental, and emotional experience along the way. And then lastly, the root of suffering is in the mind, and the purpose of meditation is to release the mind from suffering. And we do this by paying attention, focusing on one point, be it the breath, be it a passage, the internal experience or sensation, like how your feet feel perhaps, or a word or a phrase. And we notice what is. Notice when the mind wanders and gently, lovingly bring the attention back. There's so many different types of meditations and so many options for focus. So I will introduce a variety in the coming weeks, and notice what works best for you. And I suggest that you repeat any that work really well and that resonate strongly. And if you repeat them and you find that each day you have an experience that you would like to repeat, you can repeat the same meditation for as long as you want. So eventually, having a daily practice of at least 7 minutes a day, 5 to 7 days a week, is where you may want to set the mark, but that can be out a ways. It's stillness and silence that result from a regular practice that connects you to that inner voice, the voice of knowing, the voice of wisdom. So, so I just wanted to start with that today. One other thing to keep in mind is if the meditations that I lead you through, if they don't seem to hit quite right for you, you might try out some of the apps that you can use, like Insight Timer or Headspace or Calm. And if you have a time in your day, play a recorded meditation. If you don't have any time in your day, you might play that meditation as you lie down to go to sleep at night. And you will still feel benefits. So the meditation I'm going to lead you in today is called Counting Backward from 20. And in this meditation, you can be led in it or you can lead yourself. So let's say in a couple of days, you're not near your computer, you have your phone with you, and you can't really get to this meditation, but you know if you set your timer for 3 minutes, you can lead yourself in this meditation. So if you're leading yourself, you'll set your timer for 3 minutes to go off in 3 minutes. And you'll begin to count the breaths. You're going to count the exhale. And you'll count beginning the first inhale, exhale will be 20. Second inhale, exhale will be 19. Third inhale, exhale, and you'll repeat to yourself 18. And then we'll continue this way until you get to 0. If you get to 0 before the alarm goes off, or before I stop you in this particular meditation, before I lead you out of it, then just notice the breath going in and out of the body. So we're going to begin. Sit up straight in a chair, and this will be a 3-minute meditation. With your feet flat on the ground, sit slightly forward so that you are holding your own body up. You're not leaning back against a chair or other support. And allow your shoulders to be above the hips and the ears to be above the shoulders. Take a few full and deep breaths through the nose. And the only time you would use the mouth in this is if you are so congested that you can't breathe through the nose. And now allow the breath to return to its own rhythm. Inhale, and as you exhale, focus on the number 20. Breathe in again, and as you exhale, focus on the number 19. Breathe in again, and as you exhale, focus on the number 18. And continue on your own, counting down to the number 1. And now let go of the counting if you're still counting, and simply bring your breath to the breathing, taking a couple of full breaths in and out. And then opening your eyes, coming back together. Thank you for joining this week. I hope you enjoyed that, or at least had an experience that was worthwhile. And I'll look forward to seeing you again next week for the Inspired Living with Ellen Broderick podcast. Have a great week.